Alright, looks like we're good. How's everybody doing today? It's the first Monday night stream I've been able to do in a while. All of the uh-oh. Swear to God, Unity. Not even 60 seconds into it and I've already froze it. Alright, off to a good start today. I even reset my computer right before this to prevent stuff like that happening. The streaming gods are not on my side, apparently. Oops, because I almost smashed my phone into my other desktop. Alright, let's do this a different way. Is this all the trim? It appears to be. Alright, so these are Pro Builder meshes. So let's export them. As a group. Just checking my settings off screen real quick. Alright. Excuse me. Alright. And let's make a folder for this. Again, I apologize, I'm doing all the file management stuff off screen. And what am I in? Technically it's called Death Valley at the moment, but it's been renamed to Vale of Zintar, I believe. Did I actually name it that? Neat Your Hat is on a grid system as well. Yeah, it doesn't have a texture. Textureless hat. Hold on a second. You know what? I'm just gonna leave it as Death Valley for now. I'll change the name later. Probably should have done this part off of stream. Right now it's building. It's taking all that geometry and spitting it out as a mesh. Yeah, that would have been a smarter thing to do. Do just before I hit go live, but oh well. Hey Keith, how's it going? Also, Sackstone. Or Scaffstone. Sorry, reading is not my strong suit. How's your day going as well? Not bad. How have you been? Doing well. Minus, allergy season. But other than that, I'm doing great. Been battling Unity on and off throughout the day. And apparently I'm doing similar right now. Waiting for this to spit out the export. You feel that too? Yeah. It's the season for sure. Yeah, I definitely should have done this part pre-stream. I'd show you guys all the other stuff I've done since the last stream. Except this process totally locks up Unity on me. Come on. This is like a throwback to when the lockdown started and I was teaching remotely for a year and a half or a year. I had a graphics card that was dying, and literally every time I hooked up like one node in a material, it was like a 3-minute wait. So I just had to sit around talking for 3 minutes. Hello, Paytas. What is on the agenda for this evening? So what I was planning on doing, if this will cooperate with me, is exporting out all these terrain meshes that Sean has blocked out so far in Death Valley, which is now Vale of Zentar, and bringing them into Maya and cleaning them up. And then I have one more to do, which won't take as long. I still have to do night Sungreet Strand, which is currently Night Harbor Fields in the game. Wow, this one's taking much longer than the other ones. Hold on, let me make sure. I have a file. Yep, it's still building. Taking bets it locks up. I think it did. Yeah, I'm starting to think it did too. It's taken the larger ones. Dragon Run took a little bit of time for it to spit it out, but this is getting to the point where I'm ready to task kill it. I also wasn't streaming before, so I'm sure that's not helping. So let's try this again. I also tried to group it. I told it to spit it out as a group, so I'll try doing it without that. It seems to be slower when you do it that way. I'll just have to import all of the meshes in individually. Let's try this again. And you can export. Oh man, Unity is getting on my nerves today. Come on, you can do it. It's not even bringing up... Oh my god, what is up with Unity? On your desktop, is that a replica rifle? And does it load from the top? Yeah, it's a M1 Garand that I modeled and textured during the initial COVID lockdowns. I think it was kind of like my initial lockdown project. So yeah, I just kind of modeled that out for fun. But yeah, it has the end block clip that, you know, you stick it right down into the top of the rifle, and then it makes a cool sound when it fires out. I don't think I have one around here anymore. I used to, but okay. You know what? We're gonna try doing this in smaller. I really don't want to do this individually. Let me see if I can get one to export on stream. Guns and M&M confirmed. Yeah, and they're gonna be super realistic, like full PBR, photorealism. Here's the folder. There we go. How about Space Ninjas? I don't know about Space Ninjas. Maybe extra dimensional Space Ninjas. Awesome. Wow, this is really annoying. I'll give this a minute or two, but that should not be freezing up. Oh, there we go. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Oh boy. Alright. I got that one. I want to remember to get that one. Can I do them 2 at a time? That'd be great. Let's not copy the textures. It's not necessary. Honestly, I do not know what right-handed is in this exporter. I'm just gonna leave it checked because that was its default. That's annoying. It's making me like navigate to the file every time. Let's see if it's actually... Oh, at least it's actually doing something this time. Okay. So that was through 3. I'll try to do 3 of them at a time now. Oh, helps if I actually click the button. It's on the other window. This is one of those things I wish there was just a magic button that exported it perfectly while I'm streaming. Apparently not. You know, like the export button. Did you guys do anything fun over the weekend? Oh man, 3 of them worked. Oh, maybe not. Did yard work and burnt your head? Yeah, my head's definitely balding as well. It's the primary reason I wear hats in the summer now, is because if I don't, I have one scorched head. Alright. Staring at this little box with the green scrolling thing, I bet is riveting streaming going on right now. I apologize. I really should have done this off stream. I did not think it was going to take this long. But it just shows you how large this zone is. Okay, so we've got those. We're getting there. After these are done, it'll be halfway. Or slightly over, somewhere around there. I don't feel like counting. Okay, so we got that. Okay, we'll be over halfway by 1. You did not do yard work? Or you did not burn your bald head? Or both? Almost done. Didn't either. Nor anything else. Hey, sometimes you need a lazy weekend. I'm trying to remember what I did Saturday. I think I played around with the trees a little bit on Saturday. And then... yeah, that is what I did on Saturday. This should be the last one. If it works. I know you guys are going to really miss watching this scroll past on my stream. Because I know I am. Alright. Before we go, I'll show you guys... no, I don't need to save that. show you guys the trees that I kept working on. So you guys saw me working in Speed Tree on the initial tree layout. We modified the trunk a little bit. Whoops, where am I? What I get for flying around. Alright, I'm gonna have to take those off. That is way too fast to show stuff off. Okay, so played around with the trees a bit. Actually, let's set this because the sun's gonna set. So set. All right, and we'll turn fly on. So this one is essentially similar. Brought the resolution. I think I had 7 kind of vertical segments, and I think we dropped it down to 3 or 4. I can't remember off the top of my head. And then this one we kind of went with a more kind of classic WoW style, where, you know, I made the fronds very, very low poly, so you got the, you know, the kind of very angular spots. You used to be able to do that in Speed Tree, but apparently since the last time I've used it, there's a bug now that doesn't let you actually extend the length anymore, which is annoying, so I had to like export it out and do that by hand. And then we also went with kind of an old school approach with the plane. It projected to the planes. This is a real quick just rendered image that I did while me and Sean and Goblin were kind of playing around with some stuff. So this one's image isn't as good as the one over here. But we kind of liked this. So this one's just literally like the 2 planes that EverQuest like to do. This is 4 planes, so it's just kind of radially done. So we were looking at this and potentially this for some elements as well. So Sean specifically had mentioned if let's say time set, and let's go to 11 a.m. You can see the shadows aren't as cool because they're made out of singular planes, where this one you get some really nice shadows from. But, you know, it's not quite old school EQ, but again, it still kind of is that old throwback. So then what I did was instead of doing the quick renderings, and Goblin had kind of played around with the colors a little bit with this one. Real quick, this one has not been played around with in terms of colors. What I did was I baked out the low poly billboards that Speed Tree can generate, and I atlased the texture. So basically it took, if you could think of like my phone here as the tree, it basically took images of it, however many images I said for it to take. I think it did 6, and then a top down. And I can put it on these on planes. So this is kind of what it did. It looks kind of weird up close, though, to be honest. So, you know, it kind of keeps the... Oh, I forgot I have fly on. Come on. It kind of keeps the shape of the tree, so you get some of the... And I actually edited the shape a little bit from there, so it's not going to be 1-to-1 anymore. It would have been if I hadn't played with the trees a little bit. But then, so we did that one, and then I did this one as well. So this one is essentially the same as this, but just better rendered images, and it's from multiple angles. That has a plane in it that's vertical that gives you that frond style shadow. Except you can kind of see it when you look up. and you can kind of see it from certain angles from the side. So what this one is it's doing the exact same thing, except this one's a double-sided material. This one's a single-sided. What I did with this is I just duplicated every plane and then made one and reversed the normal direction on one of them. So there's two planes sitting basically on top of each other that are facing in opposite directions. But the one that is casting the shadow from below, you can't see it. You can see it from above, but it looks a little less. It looks a little more kind of classic EQ throwback, without having that kind of weird plane that's kind of floating in there. So I think we're kind of on these two. This one looks too funky. You know, this one's too thin. This one, the shadow, you know, just doesn't look as cool from above. This one's got, you know, probably the best shadow out of all of them. But we'll see how it goes. Some trees may end up having more of a style like this. Some of them may be more like this. We'll have to play with them as we get to the different species of trees. So how do pine trees work with this? Does it work good? Or do we do something that's a little bit more reminiscent to how Sean has the trees that are in glass flats, the white ones, where they're kind of planes, which are similar to the fronds, like that. So that was a lot of stuff, a lot of experimentation to kind of see what we want to do. So now that we kind of are settling in on one of these two, I'll be able to kind of get in and do some production trees, get a bunch of different trunks, get a really good rendering out of an atlas for this, get it to the correct scale. Right now it's gigantic. It's like an 8K texture. So kind of fine-tuning that so we can have some actual production-ready trees. That shouldn't take too much more work, but we'll see. Can you make them pop more? I mean, I could make them like super bright and glowy and, you know, emissive and all of that. I mean, make them pop a little bit. So yeah, I did that, and then I also played around with some. I was trying to play around with some assets for like banners and stuff for Worm's Bane. But they're not ready. I was trying to see if I could get them like moving with character physics, but Unreal's or not Unreal. Unreal's easier. I was having some annoyance with Unity. But with that, I'm going to close this, because if I leave this open in the background, it's going to drive me nuts. And I'm going to try dragging these in. Hold on, did that just double up? Okay, let me turn off my grid, because it's just going to get in the way right for this. Weird. What is going on? Alright, that is annoying. It looks like it zeroed them all out. Alright. Well, let's try this again. I need to delete all of those. Should have done this without streaming. If this doesn't work, I'll just go to whatchamacallit. Sungreet Strand and take the 2 or 3 pieces of geometry that are in there. Yep, you get more of the green bar. I know you guys missed it. Oh, God. Let's give it a go. Hopefully this works. Oh, you know what? I know what it is. Darn it. Hold on. I forgot to click one thing in it, and I bet you that's what it is. You guys sticking with static meshes for terrain and not using the Unity system? Yeah. We are trying to use static meshes to go with the kind of old school aesthetic. Terrain definitely gives us more options, but it doesn't give us the look we're trying to go for as easily. So we're attempting to do it this way. Alright, export, apply transforms. Trade it at 5 at a time. Okay. And export as group. If I can export these at least as like small groups, this should be easier. And I apologize, I'm doing again, for anybody who's joined just now, I am doing all the file management stuff on my second monitor. Unity terrain feels just so generic. Most terrain ends up looking like Play-Doh, though. Yeah, it's got a softer feeling to it, for sure. I mean, if we were going photorealistic, it would be the best way to go. And then generating height maps and stuff like that, probably like with Gaia, or using I don't know if Brushify is a thing in Unity, but something similar to Brushify if you're familiar with that from Unreal, where you can basically have height map brushes that you can kind of use to paint landscape and stuff like that. But those would give you like pretty nice photorealistic terrain. And then, you know, the nice thing about the terrain also is that like it'll auto tessellate as you get further away from it, where ours won't. Unless Ali has some programming wizardry planned that I'm not aware of. Right, and you have to jam static meshes into it anyway. Like dynamic tessellation in terrain is nice. Pixel air. I don't think Pro Builder was originally meant to push this far, even its technical, even if it technically isn't that complex. Yeah, I think we're putting Pro Builder through its paces with some of the stuff we're trying to do. I mean, I'll be able to get this exported out. I just may end up having to do this one off stream because my computer's definitely struggling with it while streaming. Cutting holes in terrain is a pain in the ass. Yes, it is. No overall level design and flexibility. Yeah, it's definitely annoying cutting holes and stuff in terrain. Although I haven't done it in Unity in a long time. I haven't really played with the terrain in Unity in a while, so it might be better than it was back when I was using it. But I know in Unreal it's annoying. We have to write a custom mesh instance for foliage and shit, but it's not a huge deal. Yeah, we'll probably end up having to do that. Or using imposters or something like that. Yeah, because just dragging each individual tree mesh and foliage mesh into the level is not going to be efficient at all. Now that we're close to getting production ready trees in there, that's something I want to talk to Ali about. I think you already had mentioned one long ago, like when I first got on the project, that he was recommending, but I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. Oh yeah, you just popped in just after I was showing off the trees. Hold on. And this is not... I'm going to have to crash this out again. This is annoying. Oh, it worked. Touchdown. Okay. I will show the trees after I get this done. It's just going to take a couple minutes for each one, apparently. Alright, and export. And we'll export that one. But, yeah, over the weekend I did some playing around with the trees that I was playing, or the quick tree that I played with in Speed Tree on my May the 4th stream. So kind of took that and pushed it more into the classic style that we want. So generated some cards for it, tried lower poly fronds, and kind of, tried, I think I have 6 different ones, to try to get the style we're going for. Alright, that one worked nice and quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Hold on. Where'd that other one go? Shoot. I think I sent it into the wrong folder. Here's the Christmas lights all ready for the holiday events. Yeah, first thing I did was make the Christmas lights. For the palm trees. Christmas lights for the palm trees. Was just thinking, can do speed tree and use hand painted texture look. Yep, that's what we did. Marie did some hand painted textures for us, based off some samples that I'd sent over, and so they're in the style we're going for. And then yeah, just kind of threw it in speed tree, and then made it fairly low poly in speed tree, and then from there took it into Maya and played around with it a little bit. There's an issue in the new version of speed tree where, like, the length, you can't really decimate the length, and if there's a way around it, I don't know it. It's been a couple years since I've used speed tree, so I'm not as familiar with the newer version. Yep, and I totally did move that. Hold on a second. Ah. That is in my... Oops. hold on a second. Pretty sure I've got another file in here I need to find. Yep, let's get the meta file. There we go. Let's see. Sweet, they better work with the electrical grid. You guys don't even know how stoked I am for this project. It's been so awesome seeing it coming all together. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really stoked for this project too. I was stoked about it when I initially heard about it, and now I'm on the team. So. I get the excitement. It's been something I've been looking for years. Yes, of course. When I first found this project, I was treating it as a sprint, but after following a couple months, I know I must feel it like a marathon. Yeah, I think development tends to be like that. Especially, you know, we're a smaller team, and doing that was not what I wanted. Nope, that was not what I wanted to do either. Smaller team and doing it in the off time. Please work. Alright, I'm missing one. What are these? Why is this being so annoying tonight? It looks like these ones did not export. Oh, is that what it just did? Yep, that's what it did. I did the same thing twice. And we'll drag that in. Oops, helps if I don't drag in the meta file. There we go. Am I missing something there? Or is that... Nope, that is not anything. Okay, I think I've got everything. Is there another plane? No, we are good. Okay, I'm going to close that. And we will start doing this. When was the first? When first? I feel, man, that's how I feel. It was for Pantheon for me back in the day. Been heartbreaking in the past years. This project has restored my hope. That my dream game is getting made. The scope feels just about right. Yeah, I think that's... if we were trying to do something at the scope of Pantheon, I don't know how that would go over. But the scope of the project is definitely... and the art style definitely lends itself to us being able to complete this with a small team. Okay, so I'm on the other screen. I'll kind of try to have it on here. And I'm just going to essentially lay out these real quickly with just planar projections. And then just unfolding them. Ooh, that's... Oh, is that two Planes already? I suppose it is. What is going on here? Alright, let's do it this way. Ooh, boy. Where's the rest of this? What is going on with this mesh? Oh, let me back up. Had it working better before. Oops. There we go. I need to project that. Actually, let's just do that. Why are these all individual? No, why is it seeing them as individual? Alright, there we go. I don't know why my computer's acting weird again. That one. And now we will do the same. Okay. I don't know if I really want these attached. But we'll attach them for now. And we will rotate them so the cliff's gonna be vertical. When you import it back into the game, can it be edited in ProBuilder? Yep. Yeah. You just bring it in and ProBuilderize it. If it's not put together correctly, it does that weird black screen flicker thing. So the couple times I've had that happen, I just try to remember to bring it into... See, hold on one second. There we go. I try to remember to bring it into like a cleanup. I like run a cleanup on it, and it usually helps, but hopefully I don't even have to worry about that, because that'd be great. I suppose I should be doing this on the screen. Oops. I'm just laying these out first. That way I can also see if there's any, like, funky geo. Like, there's something going on right here I'm going to have to figure out in a second. Looks like we have an extra face probably sitting on top of it. Yeah, I think that's what's going on. Yep, that's what's going on. nicely sticking out. Yep, there's something right here. Now here's the question. Which one of these was the one that Sean wanted, and which one did he not want? I'm gonna go with that it's an intentional divot. And we'll just triangulate these edges so it knows how to handle that. And I have a feeling it's doing it there too. Not doing it there or there. Back to here, looking for anything weird in this. I'm not seeing anything too bad. I am going to try to align, just to make my life easier, snapping all this stuff together. I am going to try to snap align all of the edges, even though this edge that I'm doing right now doesn't really matter, but I'm going to clean up all these first before I start to fix everything. I'm just going to go back here and double check this one. Make sure there was none of those things. And that isn't straight, but again, the bottom, I guess, doesn't really matter. Okay. Got that one. And that one. I'm just going to go left to right, except I'm going to go bottom up. Seems to like to do these in segments better. For some reason, it doesn't like to planar unwrap. When I try to use the cube unwrap, it breaks it into individual pieces on these meshes. I don't know why. It should not be doing that. But it works fine when I do it this way. Ooh. Oh. I know what's going on. I did not do this yet. Snap those together. Okay. But yeah, the plan is bring these back in as Pro Builder. And then after that, export them out and then import them back in as static meshes. So they'll eventually all be FBXs. Okay. So we got, looks like some seam issues right here. If these don't sew, that means I've got geo issues I gotta fix, which that does not look like I did. Although this looks like I might have double faces. Yep. this stuff? Right here. Okay, so that's a straight seam. Oh, and there's like a duplicate underneath. Alright, so if I think the easiest way to do this is going to be to... But why did that not select that whole... I hate when it does that. Okay, so that is everything that got duplicated somehow. And I should be able to just select, or like basically delete what's connecting the two, and then... Stop doing that. Oops, did I take... Oh no, I guess I didn't. Alright, there I did. Okay, that is better. Oh, nope, I lied. There's another. Another face. Okay, I think I got it now. Okay, so now with these separated, I can just go to mesh separate. Let's save as, because I should have done that. Oops. And this is... Oops, I caps lock on, so that looks great, but whatever. I'm gonna delete history real quick. And mesh separate. Why is that not separating? Oh, is it still attached to these? Yeah, it is. Alright, that is annoying. Those are not attached. Why are you still yelling at me? Oh, those are sharing. And there we go. That one's gone. And what is this one sharing an edge with? Separate. Yes. There we go. And now there's no more double lines. And then this edge should... So, and it doesn't. So that means... Oh, you know why? That is the one with the big seam. I'm just going to snap these to whatever they kind of average to. Or I guess maybe this one, because that has a fairly flat ridge. I just kind of brought those edges to it. These ones I'm just going to kind of let them create whatever slope they create for now. Same here. Okay, so now I should be able to sew those. Okay, and now let's again just kind of clean up these edges. When I stitch them all together, and I'm like stitching the various UV shells together, if I have these straighter, it's just gonna make my life easier. I'm gonna snap that down there. Oh, come on. There we go. Oh, that was not what I wanted. Why did that? Hold on. That should not have... Oh, need to fix that apparently. Alright, so do that. And that, and then the cleanup that fixed the non-manifold screwed up the UVs, so let's sew those back together. Or are these now all individual planes? Because that would be sweet. Oh, they are. Awesome. Thanks, Maya. There we go. Saving up for VIP badge. Nice. I don't even remember what I set that at. I have to look at all those settings. But also, I give those out occasionally for people that may or may not chat frequently, like yourself. So you may not have to save all the way up for it. Why is it doing that? Type by wow, what the hell is going on with my computer? Everything I'm doing is just breaking the UVs. That's awesome. Alright, whatever. I may have to fix the UVs another time. Let's assign Lambert 1 to the ones that I've already done so it's easier to tell. Alright. We will grab that. Project and unfold it. We will do the same to this. Project. Oops, helps if I don't select that. And there we go. Push those together. And then just real quickly look, doesn't look like there's anything funky going on with the UVs on this one. This one, what's going on over here? Oh, we have a... No, we don't have a gap. What is going on? Do I still have extra faces? Alright, you know what? We're going to run a cleanup on this. Let's save. Oh, definitely did something. Are these faces flipped? No. Alright, that's weird. Because it's... Oh, wow. There's a lot of faces on top of each other. What is going on? There we go. Can I fix this by setting faces? Apparently not. Oh, no, now they're flipped. Okay. And we will reverse that. There we go. The thing is, like... highlighting those faces was not showing up that there was multiple faces there. Normally I can just look at it and be like, you know, right now there's 2 vertices selected. I was highlighting one and it was just saying there was one. So that was a little confusing. I wonder if that will let me... unfold these UVs now. that's not good. Why is it not letting me clean this up? Who was your favorite Final Fantasy VII character? Ooh. I don't know. That's a tough one. I really liked a lot of the characters in that one. My team was usually Cloud, Tifa or Tifa, however you pronounce it, and then either Sid or Yuffie, and then occasionally I'd use Barrett. But I know as a kid I always liked Cloud and Red 13. Was kind of a little bummed that they decided not to let you use Red 13 as a playable character. In the remake? Yep, there's just a bunch of faces. Why are none of my methods to clean this up working? Gosh, come on, stop doing that. Boy. Because is it the Sean special? I'm not sure what happened, but like the thing is, like most of my I have a bunch of methods that I can use to clean this up, and this isn't showing up as it having to like if there was an extra face here, which there's not. Oh, hold on. No, see, there's no extra face. And then the second I unwrap the UVs, that's when there's a face. That is so bizarre. Let's try it this way. Can I delete that? Now there's no UVs. Delete history. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, let's delete all this stuff. Cameras, wires. Oh, I probably should not have done that in edge mode. Yep, no, it's still there. Okay. Oops. Because, like, any other way that I go about this, whether I'm trying to merge it down or I'm trying to grow my selection or anything, it just is like, nope. Oops. Like, it's not even letting me edge loop select. Or not edge loop, face loop select. Okay. You know what? I will do this one. This way. These are the parts that are giving me problems. Let's double check that to make sure that is the case. Oops. This edge will now be straight. Oops. There you go. We'll just leave it like that. So those are good. I'm gonna grab one of these. Let's grab this one. Because those were pretty... That area was pretty much straight anyways, so... I'm not going to worry as much about getting it perfect that way when I can just do it. So if I'm holding the right program's hotkey. Nope. There we go. Now those are combined. Those are combined. There we go. Oop, looks like we have a couple that we'll have to clean up in a second. I do want to fix this though. Oops. Okay, so nice thing about doing it this way, I can see real quickly where, because it's going to create an edge border where the edges aren't lined up perfectly. So I don't have to like sit there and like try to eyeball it, which I can do. It just is a lot nicer when you can have something that just visually tells you, oh, there's a problem in this area. And then once those are fixed, I should just be able to sew that. Yep. Alright, so this area all has issues. Hey Goblin, how's it going? I liked the concepts you posted earlier. Final Fantasy soundtrack, yep. Gotta love it. Classic. Did any of you guys play the remake that came out like 2 years ago? or the first part of the remake. Yeah, me too. It'll be fun for sure. Hey, Lord Sacrum, how's it going? Why is it not weird? Okay. Let's see if there's any other hidden faces in here. What? It just did the exact same damn thing. I am so confused in what is going on. I set aside a week, played it 12 hours each day, finished in 52 hours, 98% complete, very fun. Yeah, I played a bunch of it. I did not play hard mode, or I think I started playing hard mode. I don't know what my completion rate was. On hard mode, it was barely anything, but I did beat the normal mode. I really hope this one doesn't do it too. Oof. I may just need to create a new plane. Let me see if any of these, let's see how the rest of these are. Because this may end up being more work than I thought it was going to be. Oh no. Are all of them like this? This is so weird. I literally just did this with the other zones and there was no problem like this. There was a couple like seams and weird issues, but nothing like this. I think this is the zone that Sean was having weird issues in, though. So this kind of validates that there's something funky going on with the... I'm wondering if there was something funky going on with one of the planes, and then the plane just kept getting duplicated, so it became a further spreading issue. Whoa! Yeah. How do I want to fix this? What am I doing tonight? I was planning on cleaning up this geo and stitching it all together for Sean, but the method I'd been using in the other zones is not being friendly with this one. And I think there's just something funky with the planes that were used in this one. Right now I'm just trying to diagnose how much of an issue it is. Alright, let's try to unfold this. Yep. Okay, let's try something different. Oof. It's a large zone too, which is going to be fun. That's 6,000. Yep. Oh. Okay, so it's closer to that. And which side is that? Oops. Okay, so this is going to be 4,000? Or no, probably 4,500. It's a big zone. Okay, so we'll try doing it this way and hope it works. Ooh, that's probably more dense than it needs to be. Okay, so I did 1,000. I could probably do 200. Pro Builder works in mysterious ways. That is definitely something I've learned over the course of the last couple months. It is both super helpful and super annoying at the same time. But to be fair, Unreal's brushes have some wonkiness to them themselves. Okay. I'm just trying to get the tessellation about the same. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it perfectly the same. Ah. Oops. Okay. That's, oh, come on. shoot. There you go. Goblin, oh, when are you doing a collage stream, or did that happen already? I don't think that ended up happening yet. Why is this not scaling from where I want it to scale from? Okay, so we got that. 250. 200. It's gonna have slightly larger. Just trying to make sure that it's lining up with that edge, because that's like the main ridge there. I don't want it to end up being a slant. And we're just gonna bring this up. Save my scene and oh, that's right, these are all individuals. Okay, we are going to go to animation and deformers and shrink wrap. And if I can remember correctly, center, towards inner object, parallel to axis, and that is Y up. Why are you not? Oh man. Okay, that's awesome. That is not how this tool used to work. That has to be a new upgrade. That. Good job, Autodesk. I don't say that normally, but good job. I'm not gonna lie, this is a lot of fun. I kind of want to keep doing. I just want to play with this. The fact that this is doing this like almost in real time is also pretty sweet. Okay. Now that I've had my fun, we will duplicate that. And I'll put that on there. And the original one. No, I'll leave the original one for now. No, I'll put the original one on its own layer. Okay, now let's clean this one up. This is a prime example of one of those times where sometimes it's just easier to rebuild something than to try to save something. But great thing about 3D is if you have something to start with, you can do deformers and stuff like that. Oops. All right. I know this part did not have a plane, but I did notice there was a hole in the terrain. So I'm just going to put that there for now. So that we have this all together. And you can see that it's a fairly decent representation of what was already there. May not be pixel perfect. But if we really wanted it like that, I could come in here and snap everything. But this is still rough geo, so I don't think it's that big of an issue. Okay, so we will try to bring this in. There's nothing weird going on. Looks good. That up, and we'll just do an unfold. Okay. Alright, so we'll call this, for now, Death Valley. I'll dig up the actual spelling and rename this later. Terrain. Actually, terrain. Alright. Let's save and export. I remember where I was exporting to. Fail. Zintar terrain. Okay, so we have that. I apologize, you guys probably hear my kids screaming in the background. Goblin, who was your favorite characters in Final Fantasy VII? Oh, what? Character, and are you upset there's no playable Goblin character? Alright. So we got the terrain here. Let's go to our terrain. I can remember where that is. Death Valley. You know what? We'll create a new folder. Actually, you know what? I'll create it as a new folder. No, I'll throw it in here. Whatever. The folder can get renamed. And if I can remember the location, I just put that, bring that over here. Get collision. Throw on the sand that we've been using for now. And we will drag this into the world. Oh, shoot. We'll delete that. And we will go back to Maya. I'll just modify center because it's way over in the... Actually, you know what? Ah! For some reason, Unity likes to export Pro Builder stuff out at a weird size, and I have to scale it up in here. Everything else goes back and forth fine. It's the stuff coming out of Pro Builder that always comes in small, and there's no like maybe it's buried in the Pro Builder settings in the preferences. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, that's probably exactly where it is. But it's like 100 times off what it should be. So a decimal point is in the wrong spot. Fantasy. Okay. Better on the size. Ooh. We're close on the placement too now. Okay, so this corner needs to go to there, but I'm going to turn off my ocean so I can hold down V. And I have snapping off right now. So there. We're losing some of the hard edges on stuff, but we can always bring that back later if we want it. This should give us full terrain, though. That is one big sheet. And fingers crossed. Doesn't turn the screen black. Alright, moment of truth. It's got a material on it, which was weird. Sometimes it doesn't mess up until it has a material on it. Gotta move it around, make sure we see it from every angle. Because sometimes it freaks out. Nice. But now we can come in here. Why is it being stupid with the selection? And move it around. I don't know why it's being weird with the selection all of a sudden, but my computer's being strange with My computer's been weird with streaming lately. I might need to get some more RAM, which I really don't want to spend the money on, but I may need to get some more RAM at some point. I don't know. Things did come up, so probably do it this month for sure. Oh, I just noticed that. No, Goblin makes sense. Red 13 was a big contender when I played the original. Yeah, definitely. He was one of my favorites too. It was Cloud and probably Red 13. He was hoping. Paid us the Geomancer. But yeah, now we should be able to. I don't understand why it's selecting weirdly, but is it a hidden thing? Okay, it was just an angle. Sometimes turning on the hidden selection works better because Pro Builder again is wonky. But now we have this all set up, so Sean should be able to continue blocking out this without as much issue. So we've got 3 of the big zones done. I'll hop over and show off those trees again. Oh, went to Night Harbor Fields. Well, I guess since we're in Night Harbor Fields, I lied. We'll really quickly export out these 2 planes, 3 planes, 2 planes. Because this third plane, these planes over here are already exported. Because those are glass flats. Actually, this part is glass flats too. I already have this exported. I'll re-export it anyways. I'll export these 2. And then, where is the zone line for this? Zone line to glass flats. Okay, I'll probably just break it right here and have a low poly version of glass flats that's kind of sitting off to the side. Okay, let's make it so I can see everything. So select those 2, and we will click export, and I will remember to put it in the right folder this time because I was repeatedly not doing that before. Oof, man, it's starting to get warm in here. My graphics card is warming the room up for sure. And I also have the window closed so you guys don't hear cars going by every 2 seconds. Okay. Put it in there. There we go. But man, yeah, this graphics card can pump out some heat, especially if I'm playing like a super graphic intensive game. Turns this room into a sauna if I don't have my air conditioning on, which is not currently plugged in. I should probably do that this week because it's supposed to actually get a little warmer. That, and I kind of want to shift this room around so that I have like a better setup for streaming. Because you guys can't tell, but it's very less than ideal the way I have this room set up. Okay, so I've exported those out. I probably won't do those on stream because I'm getting close to the end of stream time and I got to get my kids in bed. What was I doing? Night Harbor. Trees. Yeah, this week is gonna get hot. For me anyways. I don't do so well over 75. Especially when it gets humid. Ooh, gross. So, we'll go back into the game for this. We can see the shadows in person. And also, before we go look at... Actually, no, we're in the root zone with the trees. We'll look at the trees first. Set 7 a.m. So yeah, this was kind of the initial one that I played. The initial ones we played with. So this one's just taking that speed tree that I kind of really roughed out real quickly. The ones in the back have a little bit more... attention to where the fronds are. These ones were just kind of random. Not that these ones are completely fine-tuned, but they're more fine-tuned than these ones. But this one's basically just based off fronds. So kind of more of a kind of classic WoW look to it. And you know, some of the EQ trees eventually had stuff like this as well. These ones are more the classic EverQuest trees. So you've got your 2 planes kind of crisscrossing, and this one you've got your 4 planes, so it's kind of more radial looking. And these ones were just kind of images that I took in SpeedTree. So there's actually some like lighting and stuff baked in, which is probably not the way we want to do it. I mean, it looks nice, but it doesn't like affect, like the lighting, it'll always have that shadow no matter what. These ones were atlased out. When we decided, we were all kind of excited about this one. We liked this one, and this one would agree, but I think the team was kind of gravitating towards the kind of classic feel. So I atlased out the tree at a better resolution. These colors haven't been touched up. Goblin kind of played around with the colors for this one. And then one thing that Shauna was commenting on, and I noticed it as well, if I go to time set 11 a.m., you can see because that classic kind of plane-based tree gives you these, you know, kind of very plane-based shadows. And Sean really liked the frond-based shadows. You get, you know, the nice light playing off of the other trees. You get the nice light playing off of the players. So when I made these ones, I just tried using the billboard detail, which looks really kind of funky, but it does give you that kind of nice frond-based image. This one, I took basically the same setup as this, which is the better texture. And put a plane that is rendered from above, and put two. I think there's actually 2 of them there, and they're rotated so that they don't look the same. So actually, I could probably thin that shadow out a bit now that I'm thinking about it. Skeletons are attacking me every 2 seconds. But this one has the texture on as double-sided, so the plane is rendering both up and down, so you can actually physically see it. So it just makes it look a little bit fuller, like this. So you can kind of get a nice little god rays and stuff through it as well. And then this one is giving you the exact same effect here, but it's more of the classic look from underneath. It actually does have that plane, but the way I did this one is the material, instead of being double-sided, is single-sided, and the image cards that are showing the leaves have one normal facing one way and one normal facing the other way, where the one that's vertical only has one facing upwards. So you can technically see it. You can see it right here. And as I get below it, it'll disappear. So you can kind of see it there, and then you don't see it there. So you kind of get that real classic look, but you get the nicer shadow. And I think we're gravitating towards this one or this one. Whoa. But I think we're leaning towards the second one. Just because it gives you the nice lights this way. And then when we get to different types of trees, like pine trees, more like indigenous trees and stuff like that, it's going to probably be a little bit of playing with each type to see what works and what doesn't. What gives us nice lighting, but what also kind of feels like that old classic throwback. So yeah, playing around with that. It's gonna get hot. Hey, Paytas man, hope you're doing well. What's up today? Hey, Regis, how you doing? I'm doing pretty well. So earlier in the stream, I showed these off, and I'm showing them off again. But I exported out the Pro Builder terrain geo that Sean had been using, and was trying to clean it up and stitch it back together. And I'm not sure what happened, because I know Sean was having issues with the geo. There's something weird with the geo itself, because it wasn't showing up that there was two faces until I would go to unwrap the UVs, and then it would just like explode, and then there'd be two faces. So I decided it was one of those things that it was just going to be easier to recreate than try to fight it. So I let me add this. So what I did was, where did those go? Did I delete those? Oh, no, I didn't. I forgot I scaled the ones up. Give me 1 second. So I took a plane and used a saran wrap on it. So essentially it just projects this plane down and creates a copy. It's not perfect right now. It actually kind of rounds some of this stuff out a little bit, so we might want to go in here and snap some of these edges on here. But for now, at least it's a workable thing in what's currently called Death Valley in the game. And that just screwed up Unity for a second there. But yeah, that's kind of what I was doing. The middle one looks really nice. Yeah, I like both. This one, honestly, I like both of these. Definitely, this is more classic, but man, the God Rays can look pretty cool. When they're coming through that, so. But yeah, so played around with that a little bit over the weekend, kind of experimenting, trying to find how we want to take those speed tree models and treat them in a classic, to get a classic feel that gives us some nice lighting, and kind of think we've hit on something, and now it's just kind of bringing it to production quality, getting this kind of fine-tuned. I want some more stuff kind of hanging off the bottom down here. Potentially, making ones with little date bunches, coconuts, that type of thing. Get some variation in there. Get some more trunks. Obviously, this trunk's kind of a little bit of a, not very big S shape. Maybe ones that are more kind of curved, like a C-shaped one. Some more that are just kind of straight. Some shorter ones. Some fatter ones. The nice thing about Speed Tree is getting all those different shapes is super, super quick. And then, I can change up these in scale or play with the planes and stuff like that to get some different looks if we need them. Trees looking good, thank you. Are these new special effects? Not quite. If we didn't have the really nice lighting, I would go with the one on the right. Yeah, this one. The more classic. Yeah, because you definitely lose a little bit of that. And I think when we get to some other types of trees, having these types of planes in them is probably going to be more to our benefit as well. I might play around with having ones that are larger and then like ones that are smaller in here just to see if that gives any difference of effect. But I think we're pretty good at that. Shadows look awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way they turned out. You have a different job, which is to maintain a balance between old styles and new. The truth is that the trees never, like the P99 style. Yeah, it's definitely different because it is. I'm using modern techniques to emulate old school aesthetics, but also have them look, more modern at the same time, where they're it's more like throwback as opposed to like carbon copy. So yeah, it's a little, it's fun to play around and experiment and on what is the best pipeline, what's the best approach to do it. But yeah. None of these are billboard trees, Space. This one is a billboarded tree. So that's basically what the billboard spit at, or speed tree spit out as the default billboard. I didn't actually touch the default settings at all, so this is just what it spat out. I did have to do a little bit of modification to it to get it to work with the way I was doing it, because the material was kind of screwy. And then I wanted to attach the non-billboard trunk to it. So I had to get the billboard, I had to turn off the trunk rendering. I need to play with it more because I have dead branches that are coming off of it now. But for some reason, SpeedTree's being stupid and not rendering them in my atlases. So I'm gonna have to sit down and figure out what's wrong with that. I don't know how we're gonna do the crystal trees. Yeah, the crystal trees will be a fun exercise as well. We'll have to see how those end up coming out. Well, one, lock in on the concept design, but then figuring out how to bring it from concept to functional model will be a fun challenge. At least with the water, the sky, the trees, go 2020, and the dynamics of the game, go P99. Is what you think makes sense. Yeah, and I think that's kind of to some degree what we're doing. Again, it's throwback to a degree without making it look too modern. Obviously, I could just bring in the speed trees and they'll look extremely modern. But we're trying to have that throwback feel to some degree. But yeah, having more modern trees. Goblin and I were kind of playing around with how we want to do crystals and stuff like that, and I think we're going to end up using a little bit of shininess, kind of like the water on the crystals. So certain things might, we might push the shaders and stuff a little bit more modern with, where it makes sense. Oh, I think the means the trunk too. Were you talking about the billboarding, Goblin, for the trunk? Because, yeah, this is, again, I billboarded the top, turned off that, and then just took this trunk and slapped that on there. But, yeah, it's kind of getting towards the end of stream time, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. For anybody who is not familiar with the project, we are making a game, excuse me, called Monsters and Memories. It is an indie-inspired MMO. As you can see, I'm sitting in a MMO environment currently, watching the sunset. As the sun sets on my stream for the night. Follow that link to get to our website to learn more about the game. We're very rooted in, or inspired by the kind of classic first generation MMOs. So EverQuest, Ultima Online, Asheron's Call, those games. So, you know, a lot of our decision making, you know, reflects back to those old experiences and trying to revitalize them. We have a Discord channel if you guys would like to join that. We have a pretty active community. I haven't checked it in a week or two, but over 850 people in it, I think, somewhere around there. And you can see we have, you know, full functionality and stuff in here. But all the developers are in there, so feel free to join, hop in, ask us questions. We have all sorts of cool, you know, conversations going on, whether it's about our game, other games, game design in general, tabletops, all sorts of stuff. We have community members sharing art and stuff now, which is awesome and fun. So if you guys have art, fan art, or just art in general, feel free to share it. Always love seeing that kind of stuff. If you would like to stay up to date with the game, but not join Discord, we have a mailing list, which I just posted. Make sure, you know, you can follow along there. We'll send out updates and sometimes surveys. And also, we're hoping to get some members of the community in for some testing by the end of the year. That's kind of our goal. So if you are interested in that, you'll definitely want to sign up for the mailing list if you haven't already. These are the other team members that stream. Everybody has their own kind of stream. Sean will do playtests on Sean's stream, who kind of show off what everyone's been doing over the week. He's been helping Zukin with animations. He's been helping me block out our proof of concept zones. I've been working on our city here, and well, it's been a couple days since about a week actually, probably since I've actually really touched much of it. But because I've been playing with the trees and cleaning up stuff to help him. But that's kind of my focus for the immediate future. That and our newbie dungeon. And then Zukin is doing our characters and critters and animations. Goblin kind of does a little bit of everything: concepts, animation, modeling. We were playing, like I said earlier, we were playing around with textures the other day, trying to see what kind of things could potentially look cool for our aesthetic. And then Nick does quality assurance and game design. And then Ali hasn't actually streamed on Twitch, but he has uploaded some videos, game jam style videos, to our YouTube channel. So if you'd like to get caught up on all of our past VODs, the YouTube channel is the best place to probably do that. We all post our videos up there after we stream them. If you are watching on YouTube, please remember to like and subscribe, comment below, all of that stuff to help us out with the YouTube algorithm, so that we can, you know, more people that enjoy MMOs and EverQuest and stuff like that can be shown our videos by appeasing the algorithm gods. So that is going to be my stream tonight, guys. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. I had fun. Hope you guys did as well. Let's see if I missed anything. Key says thank you for the stream. You're welcome. Thanks for hanging out, man. Fizby, thanks, Paytas. Enjoy the rest of the eating. I will. Thank you. You too. Lord Sacrum, sign up for the beta. Yes. Sign up for the mailing list and potentially get to help us test out the game. Night Goblin, Regis, Zeitgeist, Lord Sacrum. Catch you guys all. Oh, that was one thing I forgot to say. For anybody who's new to the stream, my streams are Monday night at 8 p.m. and Wednesday at 1 p.m. and that's Eastern Standard Time. In a week or two, I'll probably be adding a Friday stream. Maybe when the TLP comes out, I'll probably do some play. I'll probably play some EverQuest on that one, and then maybe do some art for the game as well here and there. But yeah, hey, I will catch you guys later.